Today, we are cracking the code on a microscopic fungus that was found living next to a deep-sea volcano. And believe me, the secrets hidden inside its DNA, well, they could completely change how we create everything from biofuels to new materials. So let's dive in. But first, just think about this for a second. Imagine a place with absolutely zero sunlight. The pressure is so intense it would crush a submarine like a soda can. What kind of life could possibly survive down there, let alone thrive? To answer that, we have to go somewhere truly extreme. This is where our story begins. Welcome to Section 1, Life in the Deep. We're headed to a place called the Rainbow Hydrothermal Site. It's basically a field of underwater volcanoes, just spewing out this superheated, mineral-rich water. It's a chaotic, totally alien world, and it's exactly where scientists went looking for life. And you know what? In that completely hostile environment, they found something incredible. Let's meet the star of our show in Section 2, a fungus from the dark. Say hello to Cryptococcus sp strain Mo29. It's a type of yeast, yep, a fungus, that they pulled right from those vents. And the thinking was pretty simple, right? Any organism that can survive here has to have some pretty unique tricks up its sleeve, coded right into its DNA. Turns out they were onto something huge. So, you found this amazing little survivor. How do you figure out its secrets? Well, you've got to read its instruction manual. Which brings us to Section 3, Decoding the Blueprint. Okay, so to really understand this yeast, researchers had to sequence its entire genome. Now think of it like this. It's like taking a 1,000-page book, shredding it into millions of tiny little pieces, reading every single tiny piece, and then using a supercomputer to glue it all back together in the right order. That's pretty much what this 4-step process does. So after all that work, what did they find? Well, first off, the sheer size of its genetic book. The complete blueprint for this one tiny yeast has over 27.5 million base pairs. That is just a staggering amount of information to be packed into a single-celled organism. And inside that massive blueprint, they found just over 10,000 different genes. Now, think of each gene as a command, an instruction for building a tool or running a program. This tells us this wasn't some simple little microbe. No, this was a highly complex biological machine. Okay, so we've got the blueprint. We know it's massive and complex. But what do the instructions actually say? This, my friends, is where we get to the real payoff. Section 4, the genetic treasure. Buried deep in that genetic code, scientists basically struck gold. They found a ton of genes for something called CAZymes. Now, CAZymes are a huge deal. They're special enzymes. You can think of them like tiny molecular scissors, and their one job is to chop up the tough, complex stuff that makes up plant walls. And what's really wild is just how many of these tools it had. It wasn't just one pair of molecular scissors. This thing had the whole toolkit. Its genome had hundreds of genes for these enzymes, including almost 400 for something called glycoside hydrolases, which are like the heavy-duty power saws of deconstruction. That kind of variety hints at an incredible hidden talent. And this quote from the actual research paper just says it all. The scientists concluded that this yeast is, and I'm reading this directly, equipped with all necessary enzymes for the deconstruction of terrestrial plant cell walls. Think about that. A fungus from the bottom of the ocean has the perfect toolkit for breaking down trees. So, a deep-sea fungus that knows how to eat trees? What on earth can we do with that? Well, that brings us to Section 5, Unlocking a Fungal Superpower. See, it's not just one trick, it's the whole crew. The genome has instructions for enzymes that break down cellulose, the main structure of plants. It has others for the glue that holds it all together. It even has enzymes to tackle lignin, which is the super tough, woody part of a plant. It is a complete, top-to-bottom demolition team. To put it simply, this fungus from the abyss has evolved the power to eat wood, leaves, and stalks. It's a master recycler of plant matter, even though it lives in a place where, there are no trees. It's a fascinating puzzle for evolution, but for us, it's a massive opportunity. And this is the key takeaway. This is why it matters. Right now, if we want to turn plant waste into something useful like biofuel, we often have to use harsh chemicals and a ton of energy. This fungus, it gives us another path, a biological path. We could potentially harness its natural abilities to create a whole new kind of green chemistry, using nature's own tools to build a more sustainable future. The discovery of this one fungus just opens up a whole world of possibilities, and it leads us to our final and maybe biggest question. Section 6. What else lies beneath?
Just think about it. This entire discovery came from one single strain of yeast, found in one tiny spot in the vast, almost completely unexplored deep ocean. It really makes you wonder, right? If this one microscopic fungus holds a potential key to green energy, what other incredible solutions to our biggest challenges are just waiting down there in the dark?